Hello, everyone. I think my camera's messing up today, but on low power mode. I hope you all are having a wonderful day because I certainly am. Is this camera even fucking working? Man, there is such a delay. Wow. But hello. Happy Mars Day. This is going to be a very interesting one because I'm going to be working on a raven, and I don't really paint birds that much or draw them. I look at them a lot, kind of. Kind of. I like birds, but this is gonna. Yeah, look how fucking slow that is. What a frickin' delay. Anyways, today is brought to you by me, Ezekiel Schmidt, art.com. If you want to show your support, go click a link in the description. Let me know if people are actually watching this. Appreciate y'all that have. It means a lot to me. Yeah, let me get some black paint. So today I've been thinking about what I read last night in Aristotle's book, Rhetoric, or on Rhetoric, which is really a book that he wrote kind of. So in Greece and around Aristotle's time, there's a lot of people called sophists, and their whole thing was that rather than try to get at the truth is whatever you make it, whatever you can convince people of. And they use the art form of rhetoric um, to get to sway people's emotions and persuade people. So his idea behind the book was like, if you guys are going to do this, I'm going to let everybody know how this is actually working, what's going on. He hated rhetoric. He preferred logic and syllogisms and all that type of shit, reasoning. He hated the art of persuasion, but he wanted to write down to let people know what was going down. This thing working yet? No. I'm trying to find a brush that I can use. But yesterday I was reading the chapter on I think one a little bit sharper. I guess I will just use my trusty chisel. His chapter on envy, as well as jealousy and how they relate to each other, and indignation. And I stopped off after the chapter of indignation, which then leads into a whole new section. This thing working yet? What the flippin' frick? It's just so delayed. Anyways, at least you can hear me and see what I'm doing, or see what I'm talking about. I don't know. You can see me. That's what I mean. Um, but in those sections, he was talking about we're envious of people that we consider better than ourselves. Um, we're jealous of people we think of as our peers or people that are receiving things that we believe are ours. We're jealous of we're envious of what other people have, but we're jealous of what we believe is ours, that we possess, that should be ours at least. And then he goes on to the idea of indignation, which is about people being pissed off at undeserved um, rewards. An example would be like, you know, when you see if you're someone that was kind of raised in my position, when you saw someone whose parents bought them a car and they are a piece of shit and they really, you know, that kid's gonna wreck that car within the year. That's indignation. You're like, this person doesn't fucking deserve it. It's not because you want that thing, but because you believe that they have not earned it. People that get um, positions of power not because they actually are responsible, but simply because like they're someone's nephew, and that's indignation. I feel like I'm watching this, which is all right. Not everything's gonna be perfect, especially not in my paintings. Which kind of made me think of the like, if you might have heard the idea of what they call righteous indignation, which is the idea that like you are rightfully you're pissed off at the evil in the world and you want to do something about it. And then you want to fix the injustices of what's happening. And something I try to work on is that idea of envy, especially because it's really easy to become envious. Like, oh man, he's got so much fucking money. I wish I had that much money. I wish I was rich. Person, like, oh man, I wish I looked like that person. That person's ripped. Person's good shape. Person has a nice house. I wish I had that nice house. We all kind of fall into that at times. Is my fucking okay? Just making sure that the audio is actually come through because it didn't show me. Um, there we go. That's actually syncing up again. There we go. But it's something that we can easily fall into. This idea of just, oh, that person's doing so well, man. I wish I was doing that. And then, honestly, that's just gonna fuck up whatever you're trying to do because then you're gonna try to go after something that is probably not. It's not that it's not good for you. It's more that it's. So in the book, in Rhetoric, Aristotle talks about the idea that when we are envious, we want someone else to not have that thing, and he thinks that jealousy is a more positive emotion because envy, where it's like that person, you know, they shouldn't have that, you know, I should have that. Whereas jealousy is like, oh, that's mine. I need to go after that instead. So jealousy produces more of action and actually going towards achieving goals and achieving. Like if I was to be jealous of someone's work, like if I was to be jealous of someone's say their fitness, then I would be more inclined to do the things that make me fit too, because I want to be like them, or I want to have what I think is already should be mine. Whereas envy is I don't want that person. They have all that money, you know. I should have all that money. Right? I'm explaining it badly, but The difference he explained in between envy and jealousy was other people shouldn't have that thing. I should have it. So you're trying to take away from something from someone else. Whereas jealousy, you're not trying to lessen them anymore, but build up yourself more. At least that's how I interpreted what he was explaining in the book last night. Um, I read it when I was really tired, so I'm probably botching everything about this. But I find that a very fascinating thing, that to be jealous is to, he interprets that as something that's positive rather than both of them being an undesirable emotion. At least that's how it looks so far from my reading. But the idea of indignation is very interesting to me because I feel like that one is what really kind of produces justice. This idea that, you know what, that person did not deserve that at all. They got that by ill-gotten gain. They cheated, lied, or there was nepotism involved. And that I feel is a more balancing emotion than, say, jealousy or envy. That looks a little bit more like a raven to me. Hmm. So, why am I bringing all this up? Because I think that, at least for myself, that is something that I deal with a lot, is trying to make sure that, am I truly being indignant, or am I just envious or jealous? Am I, is my emotion that I'm feeling, or oh, not the feeling, because you can't control your feelings. You control your engagement with the feeling. Because once you feel something, you can recognize it and you can choose. Like, say, if you feel angry, you can choose to take a breath, release, and be like, you know what, it's not worth it, or that person's right, and not engage with the emotion. Or you can feel angry and then fight back, get all pissy, and then just create, just up the level of excitement of emotions. Um, but like with jealousy, you can have a thought, you can have a feeling, but then just recognize it, take a breath, and ignore it. Not necessarily, maybe ignore is the wrong word. Choose to not engage with it. Realize this is an emotion I'm feeling because of ba 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 ba, whatever reason is, and then let go and not engage with that emotion. That's something I'm constantly working on because stuff will piss me off, and then I'm like, oh well, that person just yeah, blah, 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 blah. They deserve that. Did they? Or are you just being a dick? And I think that's something we can all work on, is learning to recognize our emotions and disengage or detach for a minute, think, is this the appropriate response right now? Or am I just emotionally reacting? Because that's what emotions are for, usually. They're kind of little shortcuts to reactions, ways of thinking. They are shortcuts for the mind to take action. And when you properly train your mind, you create the shortcuts to let go or to engage. Whatever you do repeatedly, you're training yourself to do later on automatically. What you do consciously, you train your mind to do unconsciously. That's why I like reading philosophy, because what it is training for the mind. So that when that situation does come up, you've already run through the scenario in your head through reading someone else's reactions. That's why I'm very big on be careful what you consume, be careful what you watch, be careful what you listen to, be careful who you use as role models, because you are more likely to emulate. Please go off. You're more likely to emulate someone else's reaction because your mind's kind of like, well, in this situation, this is how you react. So if you're constantly around people that are bitchy or dicks, when you get into that situation, you're more likely to take the shortcut to being a dick, to being a bitch. If you're around pussies all the time, you're more likely to take the shortcut and be a pussy. Because most of our life is done automatically. The whole point, it's like, so if we had to think about everything that we did throughout the day, we would go fucking insane. We wouldn't be able to get anything done. Because then we'd have our attention split in all these different ways and we'd have to think through everything. The unconscious is there to be able to take that load and allow that thing to be done automatically so that way you can concentrate on what actually matters. So that way, like when you're driving, if you had to think about everything you do, like intently, you wouldn't drive properly. You would drive like you did when you were learning, and you would suck and you would fuck up everybody on the road. But because you've done it repeatedly and you've trained, you have now an automatic way of doing it that you don't have to think about, and you can kind of go into like a zombie mode for a bit and just think through thoughts, and then you just, oh shit, I'm already at work now. Fuck. And that's what the unconscious is there for, to take away having to put your attention to stuff that you don't really need to do. But so if we say train our unconscious badly, if we're always consuming things that show us a certain situation and show us an outcome that we think, oh, this is kind of what I want, like being facetious. Yeah, watching comedy is kind of fun, but then if you're always mocking people, no one's gonna want to be around you. Even people are, yeah, that's fine. No, they don't want to be around you, honestly, because eventually you become annoying. If you make everything a joke, no one wants to be around you. You should be lighthearted at times, but you should also be able to be serious. So you need to, let's say, balance what you consume, because your mind will use that as a template for how to act. when you're not thinking about it. Because most of what we do, we're thinking about something else, and we're saying something, or we're doing something else. And so our unconscious is taking care of a lot of that stuff. Same thing with like painting. I don't really think about what I'm doing most of the time. I mean, besides that being very obvious, there's a lot of stuff that's just very automatic. And if I had to think through it all the time, it would take me 50 times longer to just do one simple thing. So we have to practice what we want to be like. We have to be around the people that we want to be like. Or else you're setting yourself up for failure. And then you'll ask yourself, oh, why didn't this work? How come I'm always doing the same thing over and over and over again? It's because you've trained yourself to do that over and over and over again. So if you want to change your life and change your habits, change what you mentally consume and what you choose to act on. Do simple things. Start simple, and the rest will follow very easily. It will take time, but this is how you can train your unconscious. You can do extraordinary things if you just learn how to work with your mind. I think that's all for today. Wait, no, I lied. And that's all for today. So, if you watched this far, drop a little raven emoji in the in the comments. Lets me know that a little secret message between you and me. Shows me who actually gives a fuck. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful Mars Day. And I hope that my little rant has brought you some insight. I hope that you think about these things too. I also hope that I gotta put in one little spot for the eye. I also hope that you'll put something in the comments and let me know what you think of what I'm talking about. There we go. Now I'm done. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.